Good morning.
Good morning.
I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to preach with you for a long time, so it's great once again to be here celebrating the Holy Eucharist after World Youth Day and vacation this summer. It's great to be back with you for the celebration of the Holy Liturgy. I purchased an Apple computer about 5 years ago, which I like very much, but over the last 6 or 8 months, it has not been working very well. Seems like my emails don't display correctly. When I try and do some kind of search on the internet, it doesn't come out right. And every time something doesn't work, there's a display that shows on the screen that says, you must update your computer. Now, I'll be honest, I have tried to update my computer like 1,000 times. And every time I finish, I'm like, okay, I did it. I updated my computer. And then, once again, the display comes up and says, you must update your computer. Well, I got good news for you. Guess what I was able to do this week? Yes, I was able to actually update my computer after 5 years. It took 2 full days for the update to download on my computer, but I got it done. But then, amazingly, when the computer was finally updated, a big screen appeared on the monitor and it said these words, "You're awesome. Your computer is updated." And I have to tell you, I felt really good about that because I had struggled for, a year to update this computer, and finally even the computer is saying, "You're awesome." Now, I realized this was not a personal message from some, guy in the headquarters of Apple who was watching my progress saying, "You finally did it, we're rooting for you over here at Apple." It was just a programmed response, but you know what? It's good to get that kind of encouragement. It reminded me, in a brief moment, of how important it is for us to encourage one another. How important it is for us as Christian people to have a positive response, to be joyful, and to set aside our criticisms. We must encourage one another. The author of the Hebrews also understood this reality. He said to the Hebrew community, there is a great cloud of witnesses. There is a great cloud of witnesses. And by this he means that there's this vast number of people who are encouraging us, who are helping us and pressing us onward in our efforts to live the faith. My brothers and sisters, there is a great cloud of witnesses who is encouraging you and encouraging me to live our faith well. Who is this cloud? Who is this great quantity, these millions of people who are pushing us onward? First and foremost, they are the Christian men and women who have walked before us, those faithful souls who have lived their life in fidelity to Christ and now enjoy the blessed vision of heaven. Those are our friends. The saints are our brothers and sisters, and they're up there in heaven, and they're rooting for us, and they're praying for us, and we one day will belong to their number. Let us be encouraged by their great example of fidelity and love, and look to them as a model of how we, in this moment, in this day, should live our lives. We should learn the lives of the saints. For example, the saint that we would celebrate today, if it were not a Sunday, St. Maximilian Kolbe, that great Polish priest who wrote strongly against the Nazis, and because of it, he was arrested and put into a concentration camp. And during his time in the concentration camp, he chose to die in order to save the life of another prisoner. What a great member of the cloud of witnesses who spurs us on. If we can look at the lives of the saints, my brothers and sisters, we will be inspired by their fidelity, by their sacrifice, and by their courage. But this great cloud of witnesses, keep in mind, is not just the people who have passed from this world. This great cloud of witnesses should include the person sitting next to you in the bench today at Mass. It includes our mothers and our fathers, our grandparents, our cousins, the members of our faith who have witnessed to us of the truth and the beauty of the gospel of Jesus Christ. These people who have inspired us, have taught us our prayers, and have taught us to believe that Jesus is the Lord, the Savior and the Redeemer of our lives. This is the crowd of witnesses that encourages us and spurs us onward. And my brothers and sisters, it means that you must also be part of the cloud of witnesses. It is your job as Christians to light up the pathways of this earth with joy. It is your job to encourage the person sitting next to you so that when they grow faint or weary, you may help to raise them up. The gospel in today's Mass said that Jesus wants to light a fire upon the earth. And that fire is not a destructive force. That fire is the fire of love that burns in his heart. We want that fire of Christ's love to burn in our heart so that as we touch the lives of the people around us, that fire may be spread to their heart and the world may be set ablaze. This is a great work. It is an immense work. It is the work of proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ and the salvation of the world. And we cannot do it alone. I need you, you need me, and we need each other to encourage each other, to love more, and to be of greater service to our brothers and sisters. And so, my brothers and sisters, this week I invite you to do two things. One, I'd like you to spend a few minutes every day in prayer, because we cannot catch that fire of Christ's love unless we live in the presence of Christ, unless we take a few moments every day in order to pray and be in his presence. It is living in the presence of Christ by a life of prayer that the fire of his heart kindles within our own heart. And secondly, I'd ask you to encourage one another. Stop the negative words, the criticisms, the bitter comments that you may make to your spouses or your children or your family and friends. Let go of negative words and be men and women who live encouragement. Look at your brother and your sister, your father and your mother, and say to them, you are awesome because you have been redeemed in the blood of Christ, and we are children of God.